shine in, shall we? Shall we? Oh shit, there's a helicopter too. Boom, baby, boom. Rise and shine. Yeah, it's the morning marijuana motivation time. I've been hiring helicopters to do my openings at Saints Addiction, aka Mostly Saints, rising and shining. Walk in the park with consistency and intentions and health and mentality. In this morning, it's about being, right? It's about being over human, which is a Mostly Saints saying, phrase, and design, because you are a being more than you are a human. And this morning, marijuana motivation, we're gonna go into it right like that, that kind of energy. I got the park with me, one other person to share it with, and we're gonna get into it, shall we? Shall we? So, no walks, no talks, just doing. Leg out, Saints Addiction. So over here, Mostly Saints, I've been having mostly deep thoughts, just having the world to me and my brain, and not trying to go insane and not trying to race my fellow human beings, but to, live my life freely and not emotionally, but with intentionality. And that made a big difference. That we would be at the beginning of the year, let me see how close this guy gets to me, that we would be at the beginning of the year a place where, if we both keep the steps. Look at this one. Go ahead, bro. I'll never know. Here's the homie taking the shots every morning, getting up, taking his shots, and one day he'll get his shot. 3? You got 3? Good. Aloha. Good job, brother. Ah, bro. I don't want to race this dude. I want to be able to talk and go. Let's take another shot. Let's go. Go ahead. Aloha. Oh, ah. He's grabbing it. Look at that rebound. I love you, bro. I'm gonna let guy walk in the opposite direction this morning. Some people want to be near me. I'll never understand it. Ah. So I'm gonna create some space and opportunity for the show to grow. All right, so besides for the dude that walked all the way across the field and made a beeline for me with his dog, right? Like, I don't know if he wanted a hug or, hell, man, sensitive thugs, we all need hugs, right? That in itself was that of us being, right? They talk about it in the movie I, Robot, where the robots would even sit closer to each other. Because if they had no emotions, then they would stay single file in a line and not get close. But there we are. My great aunt Marlene would tell you that your emotions are the truest thing about you, right? And I'm over here pitching that we can change our attitudes, we can change our emotions, we can change our moods. Literally looking at myself, already smoked my blunt this morning, nice and high in the sun. I find, or at least my mind finds, what makes it feel fine. And in that attitude, there goes my human, right? My mammal, my lizard brain, monkey brain goes to the same quite often. There's literally Saints Addiction for a reason. And I identified the things that I was chasing or wasting time with and trying to crack the code of the mind, right? There's I can't know his name. It's not Kant. Immanuel Kant, maybe. One of the old philosophers was breaking down how to be like the ultimate human. And we were talking about being a hyperhuman yesterday, and now everything's trackable. You got AI. It's going to watch your diet. It's going to train you on your wrist. It's going to learn you up something fierce. And Plastic Pocket Challenge. And in that, right, you're going to learn your patterns, right? You're going to be a pile of data. I think I heard somewhere once that we were all 16 file cabinets of data. Literally, if we were all printed out all our papers and stuff, it would fill up 16 file cabinets as tall as you. Remember the old ones you used to have to pull out? Well, all of us is full of that kind of data. And Plastic Pocket Challenge, y'all. And to see that you feel individual, or you feel like you're independent or separate, as I live and I breathe and so do you, you're more in nature than anything. You're more of a being. You're more of a entity, an aura than anything, right? Like, people are feeling vibes. They're checking their emotions. 95% of the purchases are based off emotions, right? They weren't built off of cognizant, real decisions. Right? No, dude, you were having fun. You were popping bottles, fucking models. And in that decision making, it still happens. Our lizard brain, monkey brain, mammalian brain kicks in, and we do the same. I know as men, we make horrible financial decisions at the strip clubs, right? With a girl on our lap, next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. And the guy even said it. He said, I know people that move markets, man. They're geniuses. They have 160 IQ scores, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to a woman, we all have something that our brain kicks in and says, that's our path. That's our app. That's the way we process. And like he says, my buddy that plays the basketball, that's my policy, right? He says, I need 4 shots before I, he's talking about shots, not shots, guys, alcoholics. But there are people that are alcoholics where they need 4 shots to get right in the morning. And it was 3, and it was 2, and it was 1, and before it was none. But we developed the pattern, right? We created the path to what we felt was right in our minds. To get right, what they call homeostasis, right? To get to a homeostasis pattern in our lives, for our brains to actually work in our favor, right? Or like not against us is what I like to believe. Then you're in between this realm of a human and a being, right? You could be like Immanuel Kant, or try to have breakfast every morning, same breakfast at the same time every day as a routine. He turned himself basically into a robot, and he tried to make himself into that hyper human being I was speaking about yesterday, the one that knows. I remember the movie The Island. If you've never seen it, it's got like Ewan McGregor and what's her fine ass fuck, I can't remember her name, fucking Black Widow, whoever that chick is, Scarlett Johansson. And they all think that they won the lottery, right? Everybody's winning the lottery, but the lottery is just that you're harvested. You've been cloned, and they're harvesting. Why is this guy walking? I literally walked across, and now he's walking towards me, bro. I can't stand this dude. Like, literally. Twice in a row, I'll start speaking. And then I know myself, so why not turn around and go somewhere else? See, I'm trying to beat myself to the punch. With Saints Addiction, I was trying to, and I actually did, see what my motivation looked like if I replaced it with discipline. If I had rearranged the gift, right? Not the discomfort, right? I wasn't focused on the discomfort. I could handle the discomfort as long as there was a gift, a carrot. All of us have something in our brain where we're like, yes, I will do that for this. There will be something in your life where you'll reach inside yourself and be like, it's worth working for. And it's worth... Plastic Pocket Challenge, y'all. Plastic Pocket Challenge. Beep. And it's worth working for because I get XYZ. And he talks about leaving himself dopamine, right? Leaving himself little $20, $50 bills in his winter jacket, so when he reaches for it, it gives him a buzz. And even him saying that, what's his name? Chase Hughes, leading body expert, whatever, CIA ex-agent, fucking interrogation expert, right? Even him, as he knows all these things about himself, even blanked out. We all have a blank Plastic Pocket Challenge. We all have a blank spot in our brain. We all have that spot where we think we're being cognizant and we disappear, bro. We think that we're being maleficent or magnanimous, right? And then I'm like, oh man, my knee starts to hitch. It gets a little bit more real. We go into worlds that we literally create ourselves, especially in narcissists, where you're just like, there is no realm that isn't covered by your cognitive dissonance. And this little space that we call cognitive dissonance, right? This little space that presented with information, even facts and statistics, we still want to believe certain things. And this is why I was like, why can't you switch it? Why can't you switch your mood? Why can't you switch your emotions? Why can't you switch your mindset? If you are for sure believing what you want to believe, and trust me, there's a lot of things going up there, like some people, I think Chase, who's really somewhere in there, he's hard on himself saying I'm a phony, or people are going to see through me, and the jig is up. I don't talk to myself that way before I go up. I know that I'm nervous. I know that people are going to get my impression. My thing, especially even going live, is like, does my light shine? You know, does my voice echo? Am I just making an echo in my own chamber? Am I just talking to myself? Do I believe the thoughts that I tell myself? And in myself, I like to believe, right? Because we have a subconscious too, that I am believing in myself, that I do love myself, and that I do believe that I am enough. If we're looking at statistics, most of us don't feel like we're enough, right? Most of us compare a lot and a little bit too much. And maybe it is the mammal brain, monkey brain kicking in, where you know that your fellow monkey got a grape and they're handing you carrots. You're going to throw the carrot at the fucking scientist. And that's exactly what we do. We have so much more information. I looked down the street. He said we're only supposed to have a tribe of 150 people. Some of us are at 1,500 or 15,000. And I started doing this because I'm in social media and marketing, right? And I found this to be true once I hit about 1,000. When I'm messaging everybody and saying happy birthday and trying to stay in touch and blah, 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 I can only do that with about 1,000 individuals. And the 1,001st person loses that empathy, loses that sympathy. The 1,001 person gets less of me. Because somewhere between 1 to 999, I've tried to give the most genuine part of me. And then eventually it'll be AI and somebody replicating me, or replicating my voice, or replicating my text back. That's the pocket challenge. Because that's our limits, 150 people. And here we are, we push it to the limit. We believe that all the suitors that swipe left or swipe right, or whatever the switch is, that we are being chosen, that we are being suited. I don't know how many guys are coming knocking on your door with wedding rings in hand, but that's a suitor. And we'll take pseudo suitors, right? Pseudo meaning it's not real, almost like in statistics we called it a placebo, right? That we would trick ourselves a little bit, you know, into these things that we needed to. The more plastic pocket challenge. You know, trick ourselves consciously, you know, with being fearless and bravery and belief. We know for sure that people can do it through religious means, right? Even with presented with fact, again, they'll still believe. And they'll believe in their God out of the 3,000 gods that ever been believed in. So it just goes to show that there's a realm in each of us. There's a flicker in the mind up here, in the gray, you know, and it flows very fast. It'll go from downstairs to upstairs to the attic to the basement. And that light is our consciousness. And sometimes there's places like our closets that don't have consciousness. We don't flicker the light in there. We don't want to talk about it, right? I say, you don't want to talk about it? I say, I don't want to talk about it. And for most of us, we're afraid to talk about it. We're afraid to get to know ourselves. We're afraid to express ourselves. And we genuinely don't process fear usefully, right? If I'm a deer and I'm getting close to the water, Fear snapping me back so I don't get chomped by the crocodile is a good thing. Fear that I never go drink, actually get water to save my life is not a good thing. And now we have to talk about Saints addiction. This message is brought to you by Roken Vapes, champion of beer, champion of vapes. This is the Bar Pro. This is my new baby. Cartridges sold separately. You have to find Saints Addiction on Telegram. Let you know I'm the man. Or maybe that's my signaling, right? To let you know that I'm the man. Check out my hoodie. I got this. Please buy retail so I can go be free somewhere else. Right. Or do we even need more consumerism? When I chose this thing, I knew retail was only going to be a way for me to get my freedom, but I would have other people participate and purchase some of my things. The reason I go live is to get to 10,000 subscribers so that way I can have a merch shelf and sell my ideas. That's still retail. That's still capitalism. And you don't get to know what I do with that energy once you transferred it to me. Once you purchase the Saints Giving, you don't know that you're purchasing a Saints Addiction shirt, but it goes, percentages go to, especially 100% of Saints brand goes to Saints Giving. And that's feeding the homeless. That's building this app. That's fixing world poverty. But that's also virtual signaling too. So you're a being and you're a phony too. You're a being and you're a human. The average human lies 9 times a day. How many times are you lying to yourself? I bet a lot. And that's the cognitive dissonance, that we think that we're talking to ourselves, but really we're talking to our patterns. We think we're so smart, but as soon as someone comes around that we're attracted to, that shit goes out the window. Or as soon as we're in fear mode, we stop acting like we care about our hair or what we're wearing. Now we're fighting for our lives, tooth and nail, like an animal, like our real being. And when you're being an animal, you show your teeth, you yell, you scream, you scratch, you punch, you hurt, right? And all of us have done that. But we'll go to church and pretend that that's okay. That wasn't me. That was drunk me. Okay, I'll wait for the real you to show up. But then again, life is not waiting for you to show up. Life isn't going to give you, life is all around you, but you're not giving your life a chance. That's what it's really about. To put your being next to people that can move mountains with you, that can fill your willpower, that initiate you and ignite you. Are you really supported? Are you lonesome tonight? Are you lonesome tonight? And that's what the statistics say, that we are lonely, that we're afraid. We have social anxiety. We are doing so many jobs under stressful hours. And what are those kind of light? Not this real light. What's the stuff called when you have the fluorescent lighting? We're dying. We're dying. Under those conditions, that's not what life is supposed to look like. You're supposed to be under the real light and let your melatonin turn into serotonin because of sunshine. And that we all need space and privacy and freedom. And we all need food, clothing, shelter, and to find a mate. These are primary objectives. This is on Smoke and Review. And when you mention Saints Addiction, you get 15% off your whole purchase too. It's happening, whether you're cognizant of it or not. whether you focused in on it or not, whether you're even paying attention to it or not. Your apps are always on in the background, and you might not even have noticed. We are our phones. Like, we got Rolodexes of information that we think are priority, and at any moment somebody could call and get that kind of scarcity out of us, that oh shit, someone's in jail, or oh shit, someone's in the hospital. Some things trump all things, you know. I have a buddy, he's really tight with his finances, but when his father was in the hospital, he took a 20 grand loan out of his home so he could pay for his dad's hospital bills. You think that you are so controlled. You know what I mean? You like to think that you Mr. Finances and everything's all right in your world, but I got news for you. Get around someone you love, or your kids, or in a certain situation, like, I don't know, vacation, and it goes out the window. It's time to have fun. It's time to spend. It's time to enjoy. And then there's somebody there sitting there selling the vacation. I'm gonna keep the ball, but I keep seeing plastic rolling across the grass. These kids are having fun, but they didn't get off their ass. And that's it. Are you going to see yourself for who you really are? And are you going to wear the mask for too long? And those of us that are the most comfortable, that moves the less and listens the more, are supposed to be the ones that are in control. Plastic pocket challenge, y'all. And that's it. You know, that's what I wanted to master, was self-control, you know, financial freedom, and open love, right? Love is an open source, not something that I fear of, not something that I think is beyond me. That's the fucking challenge, you know. But be me, be, do, have, be the man that I know I can be, right? Do my vision questing, right? If it were a manifest, I'd be manifesting. If it were The Secret, I'd be what's his name, what's your boy's name, Conor McGregoring, you know, where you do practice what you envision, and you are so zoned in that even other people start to see it, and more important, that they start to feel it, that you are a different human being. And then we all can detect it. He's right. You can tell when someone's confident. You can tell when someone's grateful. You can tell when someone's sad. We innately have more information leaking off of us than ever before, you know, and especially in a world where it's covered in, or your attention is coveted and stolen, but at the same time given over to like a device or something that's not nice, or something that's not gonna, you know, drill holes in your canoe. And it'll come to the surface. It could be eyes connecting at the grocery store. You know, it could be, you can see it on their face when you looked up at the train station. There's the wall goes down when there's pets involved, and oh my God, it's a doggy. Like, you're not the same person. So it's like, which version of you shows up? Is it Ray Leonard or is it Sugar Ray? And look, he hit another shot. He's so stoked. He's so funny. But that's all of us. We have the halo and horns. We have mostly saints. We're mostly saints. Mostly we want to show up as saints. We want to show up as a good version of ourselves. We want to show up with our hair. We cut the hair on our avatar, right? You know what I mean? We put in our surrogate, and we want our surrogate to look good to the outside world. But, you know, how we live off camera also matters. And we can smell that on each one of us. So it's one of those things where you think you ran and you thought you could hide, but you really show your true colors. And that's amazing. There's more trash, you know? Just how much energy we're picking up between each other. And how much information we're all processing. And how much we're interpreting. Because you're going to be a being before you're a human. Being over human, mostly saints. And it's just what it is. It's be, do, have. It's not have, do, be. It's not like, oh, after I have this money, you know, I'm a give back, you know? No, you start giving, even now, when you have nothing. It's magic. Giving is like sharing, you know? It's something you learned in kindergarten. And it works. It works on the feels, it works on the vibes, and it works on the mentality, too. Every one of us has more than we can see. Look, he's holding it up. He's holding it up. He's so happy, bro. I can hear him giggling like an 8-year-old. And when's the last time you giggled or picked up a ball or picked up a guitar or changed your mood? It's here. Your being is here. It shows up, it radiates, it vibrates, and we're all on the same page. So most of us would like to be outside of ourselves. We like to think that we're separate from our consciousness or that we're making deliberate decisions. And the truth is we have all these apps running constantly, and we rotate through them so fast, you don't even get to digest. It wasn't like you cognitively said, I'm attracted to that person. No, it just happens. And you don't sit there and twist your mustache and say, you know what, today I want to be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that either. It's a conscious decision. You start making contracts, you start making goals, you start making contacts, you start making deliberate intentions with effort and action. And then you start pre-programming your new being, right? We all see people that go to work out. And when we see people that just started working out, their intentionality is different. Their commitment is different, right? Their consistency is different as well. So you can't expect for the situation to not change without some change. This is the definition of insanity. A lot of us are in a loop that we didn't know was even insane. I myself am guilty of it too. Just wanting to be the king of retail, or, you know, have the coolest shirt shop around the world, or, you know, be a successful entrepreneur. And it turns out retail is really not that good of a business. So neither are restaurants. You know, people want car washes, they want laundry mats, they want cash rich investments. And in a capitalist system, that might work too. Me personally, I don't like capitalism, right? I like building, I like promoting, I like marketing. I'm marketing, right? You know, that's my fun to it. You know, I have dreams and visions, and they all get to come true now because of Intersect.ai. You know, all the ideas, all the websites. You know, I got 101 websites, or I was up to 101. They're down like to 75, but they're just all the ideas, all the apps, all the video editing, all the social media marketing, all at the tip of a finger, done in seconds. AI solution in seconds, right in my hand. And I'm grateful for it. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be, let me get this out of my pocket. Give this to the doggies. Perfect, throw it, Murky. And I was like, what's in my fucking pocket? It's got all this grass and shit. But, you know, to transcribe this thing called being a human, you know, to map it out for all of us is so hard. And a bunch of people have been dedicating their lives. There's shitloads of philosophers, and there's shitloads of audiobooks, and there's shitloads of gurus, and not too many practitioners. There's a lot of chiefs, but not enough Indians, man. And in that, I'm telling you that I'm not saying give up, because it's such a strong level of commitment here, right? Come on, Rogan Vapes just flew right over the camera. That was crazy. And it's going to take a lot of effort to unmap something that you've been doing and have pleasure doing it. These dopamine maps, right, or maybe not be cognizant. That means you might not be aware of it, but it's there in all of us, whether we like to admit it or not. Everyone is an addict. Everyone has compulsions, and they're all putting in their own mental medicine to keep themselves self-medicated. So human comes after being. If your being is correct, if you're in homeostasis, if you feel right inside, then odds are you're going to be making better decisions, calmer, without anxiety, without prescriptions, without self-medicating, and just healing. I think nature is the best medicine, but not most of us get to participate in the nature. Most of us live in our head instead, under fluorescent lighting, and not in a healthy condition. So I behoove you, you know, to get off the system. You know, it's hard to say, because how many 350 million Americans, and most of them are participating in capitalism. They have to, just to eat, and until we have our own farms and land, then we're stuck on that system. So, you know, we have human needs. Your food, clothing, and shelter, 3 bad habits, what my dad used to say. Finding a mate is another one, and I'm sure finding freedom is the 5th element. So that's my morning marijuana motivation. If you got anything out of this, you already know to like, share, and subscribe below. But do me the favor, help me break the algorithm, help me share this with a friend that needs to hear it. Most of us are so delulu and stuck on dopamine, me included, that we'll watch the whole world go by. We'll turn ourselves into the rats with no motivation whatsoever, and nothing will change. And I was just like, wow, bro, our beings are so strong, like these rays of sunshine, that we can do anything. We put our minds to, and our willpower to, and our soul to. And so we're still a soul in there somewhere, even if it's numb, even if it's dumb, maybe it doesn't understand or want to, but it wants to wake. It's not just being woke, it wants to be awake and aware. And I'm sure that we want to feel better, more in the now, more centered, more alive. Peace and love. And as always, Chigaton. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, subscribe. And that's the other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace. Give me a like. Mostly Saints on Instagram. They killed the Saints Addiction page. So 10,000 subs. Goals for 2025. Let's go.